Hey everyone, how's it going? I am Zeracon and I am back to recap some E3 stuff and give my opinions on everything that went down. I should have timestamps so you all can skip to whatever topic you want to see and just in general know what I'm talking about. Also, I'm preparing this on Tuesday, June 12th, so any new announcements after this won't make it into the video. First off, there are a few pre-E3 things that I want to talk about. Sony announced Tetris Effect for the PS4 and PSVR. It's heavily built around the visuals and appears to be a 3D Tetris rather than the traditional 2D Tetris we are accustomed to. It definitely looks nice, and playing it in VR would be incredible. Sega announced two Persona games, Persona 3 Dancing Moon Knight and Persona 5 Dancing Star Knight. Personally, I'm disappointed about the Persona 3. There was speculation about a Persona 3 HD port, and that really would have been nice. A Persona 5 Dancing isn't too surprising, but it just seems odd to have two dancing games. Days Gone has a release date of February 22nd, 2019, and Crackdown 3 has been delayed to February 25th, 2019. This is a bit disappointing for those who have been waiting for the game, but it's not too far out of this year. Paladins was confirmed to come to the Switch after rumors and is now available. While this isn't E3 news, it's something that came during the weekend news, so that's why it's included. And that is that Steam is fully opening the gates to their online store, allowing any and all games provided they aren't illegal or trolling. This is a horrible decision because the quality of games can drop drastically. While I haven't experienced this firsthand, there are complaints that Steam is cluttered and filled with bad games. Hitman 2 was announced and is being published by Warner Bros. Interactive after Square Enix dropped them. The game isn't episodic like its predecessor, and it has a collector's edition if you are interested. Now on to the press conferences. I'm intentionally skipping EA because I despise them, among other things, but moving along. On Sunday, Microsoft had a nice list of games shown, including Twin Mirror, Dead or Alive 6, Jump Force, Kingdom Hearts 3, Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice, Forza, Halo Infinite, and Gears of War 5. Twin Mirror looks like a nice psychological game that I would enjoy. It's reminiscent of Alan Wake, I think. Alan Wake. And before I forget, Battletoads was announced. It's going to have 4K 2.5 hand-drawn characters, so this will be a treat visually. I hope it maintains the difficulty that the original had in order to continue the legacy that it has built up. Dead or Alive 6 looks beautiful in a graphical sense. It also appears to have a bruising mechanic whenever a character gets hit to add a sense of realism. And also, the popular mechanic that the series is known for will be decreased. This is something that I like and actually makes me interested in the game. Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice looks like a Neo-esque kind of game, with a feudal Japan setting with a death focus from a Souls game. This could have been Microsoft's answer to Neo, but I see that it's a multiplat, unfortunately. Kingdom Hearts 3 has so much hype for me, and I can't wait for it to actually come out. I have so many questions regarding the plot, like why are Marluxia and Larxene members of the New 13, and Aqua is a Xehanort. I'm disappointed that it's been pushed out to January 25th, but it's not too far, I guess. I can handle that. Now, I am disappointed that there is just a deluxe edition and not including the lackluster special edition, quote, quote, that adds just 3 arts figures for an additional $150, and that's really pathetic. The 1.5 plus 2.5 collector's edition for PS3 was way better. I'm really interested in getting the limited edition Kingdom Hearts PS4 Pro though, but it isn't available for pre-order in the West yet. I was interested in the all-in-one bundle, but it's digital only and I gotta have that physical. Bethesda really took the cake with their E3 presentation. We were shown Doom Eternal and Wolfenstein 2 Youngblood, which both look to be expansions to the main games, although Youngblood, from what I hear, is like the other standalone games from the New Order. We were also given more info about Fallout 76, but I don't feel like we were given enough information. We know that's 4 times the size of Fallout 4. It's a prequel to all the other Fallouts, and you can use nukes, which is pretty interesting in my opinion. And it will be an online game, but that's about it. We don't know if players can actually play offline or not, and we were only told that you could play solo or with others. If it is online only, this will cause quite this will cause quite a few gamers to drop support. We expect Bethesda to give us single player experiences, although they've given us multiplayer experiences in the past. Those were clearly separate titles like Elder Scrolls Online or a bonus feature like the Doom multiplayer. Prey DLC was announced with Mooncrash, and Elder Scrolls Online is getting a new expansion called Somerset. There's also a mobile Elder Scrolls called Elder Scrolls Blades, and it seems quite lame. Registration is open, but I have no intention of participating. It will be for iOS and Android. Bethesda also had some fun by making a joke about Skyrim, a very special edition for Alexa, Etch-a-Sketch, and other consoles or devices. Lastly, Elder Scrolls 6 was confirmed, but will be coming to next-gen consoles. Starfield will also come to next-gen consoles, and beyond that, we actually haven't heard anything else about Starfield, which is a bit disappointing. Square Enix was a real letdown. Their conference pretty much just told us about stuff we already knew about and was disappointing overall. They did reveal 2 new IPs, Babylon's Fall and The Quiet Man, but that wasn't enough to distract from the subpar presentation. However, in a stunning turn of events, we saw that Final Fantasy XIV is getting a crossover with Monster Hunter World. That is pretty cool. I wasn't surprised that FF7 Remake wasn't there, but I was disappointed that they didn't acknowledge Avengers, which is something I wanted to hear more about, because this will be, a big, nice superhero team game that isn't, like the Lego games. This is something that's bigger than that. So I'm really sad and disappointed. Limited Run Games had their first E3 conference, and they did phenomenal. The audio was kind of low, but the lineup of physical games was great. Layers of Fear is getting a release for the PS4 and Switch, Double Switch for the PS4, Exile's End for PS4, Cyberpunk Bartender for the Vita, Yooka-Laylee is getting a release for the Switch, we have a date for Night Trap on the Switch, Thumper is coming for PS4 and Switch, and lots of other games are coming as well. And overall, the presentation was just great. Ubisoft did quite well. We saw what Assassin's Creed Odyssey is going to look like. We saw Skull and Bones, an improved version of Sea of Thieves in my opinion, and we had some Beyond Good and Evil too. In addition, they shocked us all with the Star Fox cameo in Starlink Battle for Atlas. It looks great, and it seems like we'll be getting a better game than what Star Fox Zero gave us. Sony did a good job with their conference. The pacing was poor, but the games they showed and announced was good. They showed Ghost of Tsushima gameplay, which looked great. Death Stranding looked, I don't even know what Kojima's thinking. They announced Neo 2, which came out of nowhere. They showed Spider-Man gameplay, which made me even more hyped about it. They showed Kingdom Hearts 3 trailer, or their own one, I should say, because I think they had 3 different trailers overall during E3. They announced Control, which looks like a third-person shooter with super abilities like Quantum Break was, and they debuted the trailer for Resident Evil 2 Remake. It looks great, and I am happy to see this game, but there are concerns that I have with it, and a complaint. While I like the over-the-shoulder perspective from 4, I don't like that it was added in this game. I wish they had kept the fixed camera from 2 like they did with the RE1 remake, and having a limited view makes things scarier and was a part of the original 3 games. I have a feeling that they'll do the same thing for the 3 Nemesis remake, in which I'll have the same complaint and reasoning. What could be scarier than walking down a corridor in an updated RE3 using a fixed camera, and suddenly Nemesis bursts out of a wall? Checkmate. Also, I hope that resources are scarce like the original 3, which was another element of the fear factor. Now, 3 seemed to have more ammo and resources and stuff lying around, but I don't want it to be too easy. I was also surprised that the game is coming out January 25th of next year. I was expecting mid-2019 at the earliest, especially since Capcom seemed to be only discussing development. I think a couple months ago, they were just discussing that they were figuring out how to make the game or how they were going to design it. But hey, they proved me wrong. Want to try doing some of that, Square Enix? Show a trailer and release it the next year? Rocksteady didn't make an appearance, which was sad. I really wanted to hear what they were cooking up, whether it was the rumored Superman game, or another Batman game, or whatever they were making. I'm hoping to hear from them in the near future, so we can get some more news. And finally, we have Nintendo. Oh boy, I am very, uh, very disappointed with what they did. They had such a great start with Daemon X Machina. It looks like the mecha game I've always wanted on a Nintendo platform, but you know, and that made me happy. It's a new IP, it's a third-party exclusive, and they started out with that. But then things went downhill. They show gameplay. They showed gameplay and some story details of Fire Emblem Three Houses, and it looked great. I loved it. It'll be a bit odd not having sprites for my units during battles, but I love how it actually looks like a battlefield now. Granted, I didn't play the other Fire Emblems on consoles. I only played the handheld ones, so that's why. And oh yeah, however, it's not coming out this year anymore, but it's coming out next year. Disappointing news, but I guess hey, that's how it is. They confirmed Fortnite and Dragon Ball FighterZ and quickly brushed over all the games coming out within the next 3 months or so. That was good. I didn't want them to linger on titles we already knew about, or go into whatever, and just wanted them to go into whatever new titles were coming. And that's when it happens. We received Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and it exceeded everything I expected. When they showed Ice Climbers, I was very surprised, but knew that fans of the duo would be thrilled. But then Solid Snake showed up, and I was blown away. Plus, he'll be voiced by David Hayter. Glorious. They announced that everyone from all Smash titles would return, and in a surprise turn of events, Ridley was revealed to be a new character. They'll also have players unlock all 65 characters, which is great. I liked how that happened in Melee and Brawl, and felt that Wii U removed that pride and accomplishment, EA, that made me feel like I earned the character instead of having most of them unlocked based on how the 3DS worked and how you actually had to unlock more characters in that one than the Wii U version, or just the rest of the characters being DLC. There's also going to be some melee mechanics like ear dodging, which can be used to L cancel, wave dash, and other sort of techniques. And I'm definitely sure melee fans will enjoy this. Now, one thing I'm hoping they have is sort of an adventure mode like Melee. I don't want anything long like the Subspace Emissary of Brawl, but I don't want anything. I don't want to have lacking adventure mode like the Wii U or 3DS version was lacking that feature. But Melee had a nice, good length to it, so I hope they do keep that. Now, while watching the Smash presentation, I noticed how long it was. The Direct was supposed to be 45 minutes, and Smash kept creeping up to that 45-minute mark. And indeed, that was the ending game, which left me empty. Where was Metroid? Where was Yoshi? What is Retro Studios working on? We haven't heard anything from those guys. You announced a new Mario Party and a new expansion for Xenoblade Chronicles 2, so I guess I'm supposed to be happy? If you're trying to save a surprise that one of the previous games shown in the other presentations were coming, like Jump Force or Kingdom Hearts 3, you had that perfect chance and you blew it. It leaves the impression that these games aren't coming and you have little that's new to show us. While I applaud you for being supportive of indie devs and other smaller companies, you really can't use them to help you out. And on another note, what the heck was that, Konami? You posted on your page that there would be 2 games, a compilation and an action-adventure title, and you announced Hyper Sports R, which looks like Wii-level shovelware. I was expecting more along the lines of, Metal Gear Solid or Castlevania, but I guess that's too much to ask for. All in all, it's really kind of hard to say who won this E3. Microsoft announced a lot of games, but most were third-party titles, which can easily be played on PS4. And while they're bringing back Battletoads and have 5 new studios announced that they bought, it's most likely that they're going to be working on Xbox 2 or whatever they decide to call it. Oh, and also Xbox 2 has been confirmed by Microsoft. They're really just trying to bury their failure. Halo, Gears, and Forza are recycled titles that we kind of expect, so it's not really anything to surprise us with. And they really need something new just to freshen things up. Sony had a boring conference but showed us new gameplay, footage, and announced a new exclusive. And Nintendo was lacking, for a better of words. Personally, Sony gave the best fight. Microsoft and Nintendo both left me wanting more from them. Microsoft with exclusives, Nintendo with third-party games, and just missing games in general. Bethesda did great, Ubisoft did great, limited run games made me love them more, and Square Enix was worse than Nintendo. But that's all my opinion. Let me know what yours are in the comments below. So until next time, everyone, I am Zeracon signing out. Have a good one.